Let me ask you about technology, Dave, because you've got your hand in tech, and you have with locals.com recently. I had George Farmer on last year, who's just become the CEO of Parler, which is amazing. Yep. He's a friend of ours. We just had Candace on the show a few weeks ago, and she said she'd be running as VP in 2024 with Trump as well. We can talk about that shortly. You know, we raised $1.5 million for our Digital Freedom platform last year and streamed 57 episodes. And don't get me started, Dave, but much of those episodes that were being censored on YouTube, those things are now being discussed in mainstream media and by our president. Things that I was called all sorts of nasty things for publishing last year. Now it's considered the normal narrative, but we can talk about that shortly. You just raised...
Well, basically reality is just about 3 months after the bullshit. That's pretty much where we're at this point.
I was vilified for having some of those guests on my show, and much of what they have said now is proving to be true or very considered to be a possibility. It's shocking. You just got, I think, a $3.8 million investment in locals. Tell me about using tech to fight back, against, these trillions of dollars in this established, Silicon Valley, even if it's displaced to other places. Can it be done? How are you doing it? And what do you think we need to keep our eye on in order to be successful?
Well, it's funny because a couple of years ago, I'm a YouTube guy just like you are, and we all saw these problems. I don't think I'm sitting here like I'm Nostradamus. We all were like, something's not right with the algorithm. I get more subscribers, but my views go down because less people are seeing it. We're being shadow banned, all of the stuff that we all knew about. I was like, something's not right here. And I kept, I know enough people in the tech world through the show that I do, that I kept saying to people, why isn't anyone doing anything about this? And everybody was just like, it's too political. Whatever we create, it'll be thought of as right wing and scary and all that stuff. And I was just like, you know what? Enough's enough. I'm going to start building something. And what I thought we could build, and this is really how Local started, was we should build digital homes for creators, the same way that somebody built the house that I am in right now. But what I do in this house has nothing to do with them. They built it for me, and they sell it to me, and then they get out of the way. What we do with Locals, we build you a community where it's all your video, you own it. It's all your audio, you own it. You own all the user data. You have a news feed that there's no algorithmic manipulation. People can like and comment. We have live chat. We have live video streaming coming. I mean, you guys absolutely should be on there. I'll be happy to connect you with the team afterwards. But in essence, we give you the tools to be an independent creator online. And it's subscription based. So there are no bots, there are no trolls, because once you literally, if you put our minimum in a community, you set your minimum. The minimum we allow on the platform is $2, but literally $2 a month would keep out 99.9% of the trolls. And if someone wants to pay you to troll you, well, congratulations. Now you're profiting from the trolling, or you can kick them out of your community the same way. If someone came into my house and kept trolling me, I would say, you can't be in my house, but you could do anything you want outside of my house. So you could still be in someone else's Locals community. So I felt we built a really smart bottom-up tech that seemed fairly obvious. And what was interesting is that 2 years ago, when I was initially going to Silicon Valley and telling everybody, nobody pushed back on the idea. Everybody loved the idea, but it was all about, we're afraid to put money into something political. And I kept saying, guys, this isn't actually political. I want gamers on there and unboxers and knitters and anyone that has a community that they want to be able to connect with people having nothing to do, without the pipes of big tech. Long story short, it was a lot of work in the last 2.5 years. But our last round was led by David Sachs, who's the former COO of PayPal, former Stanford colleague with Peter Thiel. And then that opened up a bunch of doors with not only great investors, but true innovators. And we're working on decentralized storage and decentralized payments and all those things. And I would say this, we're just one part of the new ecosystem. So I would say we're the community and subscription piece of the new ecosystem. So Patreon is sort of the old method. We're the new method where you own it. But then there's other pieces in that ecosystem. Maybe Rumble will eventually replace YouTube. Maybe Parler will eventually replace Twitter, and an entire new ecosystem can develop. These are big ideas. These are things that we're going to have to figure out. There's technological issues, there's legal issues, there's philosophical issues related to free speech, all of those things. But I got to tell you, it's been fun. It's a lot of work. But when just in these last 2 years that I just had an idea that then turned into something. And then I go to these meetings with people and they're like, hey, we want to give you money. We believe in this. I'm not pocketing that money. I own some of the company, obviously, but that they're like, oh, we believe in this and let's fight this thing together. I think more people are getting a little brave. I think investors are starting to say this big tech stuff is out of control. And it's not just that they're coming for conservatives, they're coming for everybody. And let's see if we can fight it. So it's fun along the road, but it's work. I mean, it's real work.